So, dating. How's the dating going? The dating's going horrible. So, I've heard Facebook dating is the hellhole of dating. And I believe that's true. I've talked to a few people on Facebook dating. One guy I talked to, I thought he could have been somebody I dated. He lived close to me. He seemed like a nice guy. He was like big and strong. He was like 6'4", big and strong and everything. And that didn't work out because he liked dick in his mouth and his ass, but he identified as straight but couldn't get a hard on. But he was nice at least. I don't know why he was trying to date women, but I don't understand. But he was nice. But I don't know what would happen to him because we were like, we could be friends. And then he was like, he doesn't know his sexuality, so he couldn't be friends because he's too confused. And I'm like, you're 35 years old. Why are you confused? You should know this by now. It sounds like you're just bisexual and in the closet. And then he was like, he was trying to date a trans girl, but then the trans girl got busy and they never ended up meeting up. And it's like, okay. And it's like, yeah, I don't even think you're bisexual. I think you might just be gay. And he's not ready to admit it because I'm not even sure if he's ever even dated women. But that didn't work out. So then there was this guy I was talking to. Might have done a video about him. I was talking to him. It was either like February or March. And we talked for a little bit. And things didn't work out. He seemed like an asshole. So then he contacts me again, like early May, late April. And we're talking for a bit. And things seemed nice. Like he was trying to be nice and everything. And then it was like, okay, we start talking. And then like red flags start coming up. And it's like, I started to think he was a homosexual. Because this man was 44. And he lived with his sister. He said he worked at an Amazon warehouse and a FedEx warehouse. And he lives with his sister. So I'm thinking, okay. And then he was saying what he was eating, and I don't think he was eating this, and I don't believe it was his sister. I think he was a homosexual, and a woman was about to break up with him. And it was like, he looked okay, but he seemed stupid. And we'll get more into that, why he seems stupid. But he was saying he had all this food, and I'm thinking, like, what Caribbean man with 2 jobs and all this stuff is cooking all this food? So I'm thinking he's saying he lives with his sister, but people lie and say people are their sisters all the time. And it's like, oh, that's your wife, that's your girlfriend, that's the person you're sleeping with or whatever. And it was like interesting. And then I don't believe he really had 2 jobs. He might have had 2 jobs, 2 part-time jobs, because if your night job, you're working at night and you're going from like 2 to 10, but you're home all day, when are you working that second job? Which wasn't adding up. And the more questions I started having, and then like, you know, when you're talking to somebody and like you're getting to know somebody and stuff pops up in your head and you're like, oh, this, or whatever. And then I would do that. And then you just throw out those one-liners to see what they'll say. And then what really made me think this man was stupid was I was on my period and I'm like, I'm in pain. I never said I was on my period, but I'm like, I'm in pain. I'll be in pain for like 7 days. Who can predict how long they'll be in pain for? It's like, I'm going to be in pain anywhere from 5 to 7 days. And it's like, how would I know that? And he still couldn't figure out why. And then I was finally like, oh, it's my uterus. He told me to go see a urologist. And I'm like, why would I go see a urologist for my uterus? I'd go see a gynecologist. And he's like, go see a gynecologist. I'm like, if I saw a gynecologist, that would just be a waste of money because all they would do would tell me to use like a heating pad or something and take some Tylenol or Advil. So that, and then it was like, he was nice at first and he seemed sweet. Because in our first conversation, I was like, I'm just looking for somebody to date, that wants to get married, like dating with intention, looking for someone to marry. And it's like, why would I date you if you don't want to get married? I'm looking for someone who wants to get married. So why would I waste my time and date you? And then he's like, oh, you should go find what you're looking for at this time. But then we're talking again. This is like a little over a month later, maybe 2. And he was nice at first and everything. And then I'm asking him questions because it's like, oh, something pops in my head. And it's like, oh, I'm getting to know you. I'm going to ask you this before I forget. And then somehow he tried to turn that against me. And it was like crazy because stuff was starting to come out about him and he was saying stuff. And then I saw him on video because then I started to question his age because either he's aging really bad or he's lying about his age. Because he had like gray hair and wrinkles and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I've never dated somebody with gray hair and wrinkles. And then we were talking something about like culture and race and stuff. And I was saying, oh, I've never had this before. And I was saying my culture. And he was saying he was from like Trinidad and Tobago and stuff. And he said he was mixed. And I'm like, oh, what are you mixed with? I'm mixed too. And I was saying what I was mixed with, and he was saying he didn't know what he was mixed with. And I'm thinking, okay, that's odd. Your parents didn't talk to you and tell you what race you were? And, like, my parents, they talked to me and told me what race I am. And they also explained to me, you are a mixed race person, but you look this way, and you're of this skin complexion. People are going to say you're this. So just know when people are saying this, they're grouping you in and saying this. So I'm thinking, okay, most people, they talk to their kids about culture, race, and all this other stuff. But he was like, he knows he's mixed and he's mixed with some stuff. And I'm like, are you adopted? Because I'm thinking like, are you adopted where your adopted parents wouldn't know? And that's why you don't know? Because I'm thinking, why wouldn't your parents talk to you and just talk to you about culture, race, and like different things and how people will see you in society? And I'm thinking, like, that's weird. And then he thinks it's weird that I think it's weird that his parents wouldn't talk to him. And then he started saying what race he was. And then he started saying like some derogatory comments. And it's like, those are like names that you'd say scientifically. But it's like, if you walked up to somebody on the street and called them that, I'm like, they would punch you and beat you down. And he didn't seem to care. And it's like, oh, that's a red flag when someone's knowingly saying something offensive. Because it was like, he could have said he was black. He could have said he was African. And then he started using some words where if you say them, people will beat you. And he might be part black or African or whatever. But the words that he said, somebody would most likely, some people would say in the street, throw hands. Because he might be part of that race, but he doesn't look it necessarily. And he's saying this stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's offensive. And he's like, he didn't care that what he was saying was upsetting me. And it was like, okay, this is interesting. Because at first when we started talking, he was like trying to be nice, like he was trying to win me over because he realized he screwed up last time. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, I don't really think you like me in that way, and like in a romantic way, because someone that liked me in a romantic way, they would talk to me different. They'd be nice to me. They'd have interest and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, you don't. And then it came out that he lives in the ghetto. And that was another thing that led me to think he was a homosexual trying to use me, because he was saying where he lived and how the stores, everything is like locked up and you have to wait for people and stuff, and how that was normal. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not normal. I don't even see that in my neighborhood. And I live in a nice suburb. And I'm like, nothing's locked up. You just want something, you go pick it up. And I'm like, I don't like to go to neighborhoods where stuff is locked up and everything, because it just makes me feel unsafe, because people are like paranoid you're stealing, and then they're wanting to harass you, and it's like in my neighborhood nobody's checking to see if you're stealing. Like nothing has security really. And he's saying this stuff and I'm like, okay. But and then like one day we start talking early in the morning around like 10 or 11, and I just woke up and we're talking, and then it's like he's like going crazy on me. And then the key thing in this situation is I'm more educated than him, and I'm more financially independent and everything than him. Basically, I'm doing better in life than him, and he's older than me. So we're having a conversation. I just woke up not too long after, and I said something, and then he's like, "Can you read?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Either you have reading comprehension issues or you can't read." And I'm like, okay, for someone that likes me and trying to have a relationship with me, this sounds like someone who really does not like me. And I'm just like, okay. Because before he even said he didn't think I could read, he said he thought I had emotional and mental issues. And the thing with that is, most likely no one will ever see me show emotions unless they like really hurt me, because I'm not one for showing emotions, especially with someone I don't know. Yeah, so he goes, "Are you mentally and emotionally unstable or issues?" And I'm like, "No." And the crazy thing is, he's the one that's showing he has these issues, because like one minute he's nice to me, next minute he's mean to me and stuff and all this other stuff. Then like randomly one day, because I'm like, okay, you're upset, I'm gonna go. And then he contacts me again. Oh wait, no, I think I contacted him again and said something, and then we didn't talk again for days. And then on Friday he contacts me and he's like, "Oh, I hope you have a lovely Friday." I'm like, "Why are you messaging me? You don't like me." And then I'm like, "Do you feel that you've said anything mean to me?" And he's like, "No, I don't think I've said anything mean to you. You told me I had mental and emotional issues, and you told me I have reading comprehension issues, and I can't read." Funny thing is, I teach people to read, and I work with people with mental and emotional issues and like other different things. I do a lot of different things. I went to school for a lot of stuff, because sometimes I get bored and I don't want to do the same thing every day. So I went to school to take up a lot of different things. So I do a lot of different things. And then the funny thing is, I'm a domestic violence counselor too. So he's trying to do all this to me, and I'm like, "You're abusive." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not abusive." Because basically what he's doing, he's trying to make me feel bad to fall to his will, because like guys will do this. They will try and make you feel bad and think they are the best thing for you, so you will take them in, let them move in and abuse you and use you, and you're probably paying for bills and everything, so they can get their way to make you feel bad. And then they'll even try and get you pregnant and stuff to like stick around. And it's like the basic abuser thing, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm not falling for that. Because I remember one time this guy, because I was like, I wanted to get married and have a family and have kids, and it's like, why do people take that as, oh yeah, if I wave this in front of her, I can abuse her, and then if I get her pregnant and stuff, then she's gonna stay with me, and then she'll pay all the bills and do this, or I might still work, but I can trap her in a house or something with kids and she won't leave. And it's like, yeah, no, that's not me. You make me unhappy, one red flag, I'm gone. Yeah, because a guy who did DoorDash, he's like, "Oh, I make $80,000 a year, I can do all this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you." And it was like, because when he told me you work for DoorDash at first, this is when I didn't know better, where people will sign up, because I'm thinking he worked for the corporate office and like an engineer or something, but no, he was like, "Oh, I deliver DoorDash food and make $80,000. And I'm like, oh, that's all great that you make 80,000 and you do that, but I'm looking for a man with an education and something to fall back on because like they're having robots and all this different stuff. And it like if it's your main job, no, it's like if that's your side job and you make extra money doing it, great. But I need you to have a career and a career that can't be replaced by robots. Like my career will highly unlikely be replaced by robots because it will be too dangerous because all my work is working with people. So basically, on different sites, I found guys that are abusive. Oh, and then there was this one guy. I talked to him on Tinder. And he's like, oh, I'm looking for, he was mean to me at first. And then I'm like, yeah, you're not interested. And it's like, yeah, I'm just looking to find somebody to meet, marry, have kids with. And then he's like, oh, yeah, that. And he like pretend to be nice. And then we like switch numbers. Luckily, I don't give out my real number. I give out like fake number. But it's still a number you can contact me with. And then he starts messaging me. And we're talking. And then he starts sending me dick videos. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And then, but before that even happened, I'm like, oh, there's a profile on Badoo. It's yours. And you go by a different name, but you look the same. You have the same glasses and everything. And then he's trying to go, that's not me. And he's like, send me a picture. And it was like, I'm still new to Snap. So let's do Snap. And I can show you. And then it was like, he was like, yeah. And turns out you can't send pictures of stuff on Snap, I guess. Or at least I don't know how. And then we were talking, and then we stopped talking because it was like he kept sending me dick videos when I'm like out in public and at work and stuff. And I'm like, stop. And he wouldn't stop. And then I just stopped talking to him. So then he switched it around to I'm the crazy one. Yeah, that's the one that they always do, that you're crazy. So then, because I'm like, yeah. So I started talking to his Badoo account to see what he'll say. And then I'm like, we should meet up. We should do this. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I can come to your house. And that's the other thing they'll do. They'll try and come to your house. And it's like, yeah, I don't know you. And you're giving red flag signs of crazy. And you're like, you think I'm going to give you my address? And it's like, yeah, no, we can meet at the police station. Yeah. So he was like, I'm trying to come to your house. And then I was talking to this new guy. And where did I meet him? I met him on, I don't remember. I have to check and see. But we were talking. Things seemed to be going good. And then I'm like, oh, can I call? He gave me his number. And I'm like, okay, I'll call you. Or let's video chat. He won't video chat on Snap. And he'll message me. And I would be like, I want to hear your voice. He sent me a voice clip. He can't talk on the phone. He can't video chat. And he's like, oh, we should meet up. I'm like, yeah, this doesn't sound right. I think you're fake. And he's like, oh, I'm a mailman. And I'm like, okay, if you're a mailman, you can put on your headset and you can talk on the phone while you walk. And so that doesn't seem real. And it seems like most of these men, the ones that are real, they're trying to scam you for a place to live and to live off of you, and they're broke. Yeah, so if you like, watch and subscribe. Bye to hear more about my crazy dating.